Hey everybody, it's your boy Pee Wee back with another video. So today we're going to be talking about a new manhwa that came out this month. It's called Bunker Days. Well, it came out last month, but it's a new manhwa of the year. And a quick synopsis of this is that we have our main character. Um, basically, I don't really get to it. Basically, when they live in like this like border area type thing. Um, it's close to like the front lines of like like a war that went on. It's filled with a bunch of military facilities, anti-tank barriers, bunkers. But they've been neglected for so long that nobody really likes them. That's kind of like how our main character also feels about herself. And so essentially, what happened was when she was a kid, she met this other kid who the residents and whatnot didn't like him either. Told her to stay away from him. He was trouble. Yada yada yada. And one day, he showed her like a bunker and asked him to ask her basically to just stay there with him. And eventually, she ran away because she realized that she was scared of him and the way he acted and whatnot. But fast forward, she's an adult, not an adult, like she's in like high school or something, is what it seems like. And she isn't really treated the nicest. Like she's basically gets bullied. People talk crap about her. Basically, she just calls herself a nuisance. This person is, just saying ignore her. She's just trying to get attention. Yada yada yada. And so we come to learn that as we progress through this chapter, when she goes home, even her own family doesn't really like her. Like you see there, like her cousin, because she's living with her aunt and uncle. Um, basically, they said there's no reason we have to be stuck with her. So basically, she's just living in a very shitty home environment. The only one who somewhat cares about her would be her aunt, but even like this thing right here, like this moment, I don't think the aunt really cares about her either, right? She said, "Thank you for looking after her," and she's like, "Would you mind just staying at a friend's house tonight?" And she gives her a bag, and in the bag is a bunch filled with like condoms and stuff like that. So, and like her aunt, like I don't know how she wouldn't know that like she doesn't actually have any friends. And to me, this is like a ploy saying like, even if you have to sell yourself for the night, find somewhere to stay. And so she eventually, as you can see her reaction, she's like, "What the fuck?" And she finds herself on this roof here, talking about how in the past, the girls at school were like, "Oh, someone could have jumped there and like killed themselves." And she finds herself in this moment where she's, debating on it. Like she's like, for a second, she's like, "Maybe I should," and then she notices like there's a bunker in here too, and then she starts remembering about the kid from her past and like basically how then she starts thinking to herself like she doesn't actually want to kill herself, so she just basically decides she's going to find herself her way into the bunker, get out of the rain, eventually fall asleep in the bunker, just away and everything. And essentially what happens is at the end of the chapter, she runs into the kid who when she was little she ran away from, covered in blood. And so that's essentially how this first chapter ends. I will say the art doesn't seem too bad. I do feel bad that our main character has like a shitty home situation. I am curious as to where the relationship between our main character and this other character will go. It does say it's a drama romance, so what I'm assuming is that they definitely develop feelings for each other and whatnot. But whether this kid, maybe it's just a misunderstanding that he's got blood over him. Maybe there's a completely innocent reason. Um, I will say though, I am looking forward to reading this when there's more chapters out. Right now, there's only 9, so all you can really say is that you can read all 9 chapters, but it's like I don't think there's technically enough to give a full-on review about this comic yet. But first impressions, as I said, I think the art looks pretty decent. I mean, it looks doesn't look like anything like unrealistic. Like this looks like a more realistic type of art style. I am curious as to see where the relationship with these two characters will progress and which way it will go down. I would like to see, our main character, despite being hated by everyone, maybe find someone that doesn't hate her and gives her the happiness that honestly I feel like she deserves and that I'm sure she would like. But yeah, that's basically my first impression of this comic. I'm definitely gonna keep looking forward to it. It does give me like the same vibe as just Twilight, so take that with what you will. I don't know if it's gonna be anything like it, but it does give you this similar type of vibe. But yeah, that'll be it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.